Iléyá, Iléyá o, ọmọ Odùduwà. Iléyá, Iléyá, Iléyá o, ọmọ Odùduwà. Iléyá. Bí a kò bá lè gbé lápapọ̀, ṣe bó yẹ ká lè dá dúró. Ká jáwọ́ nú àpọ̀n tí kò yọ, ká tètè gbómi lákàná. Iléyá o, Iléyá, Iléyá o, ọmọ Odùduwà. Iléyá.
Were you ever taught when you were young? If you mess with things selfishly, they're bound to come undone. I'm not the only one that's been affected and resented every story you've spun, and I'm a lucky one. Cause there are people worse off that have suffered enough. Haven't they suffered enough? But you can't get enough of shutting down systems for personal gain, fighting fires with liars and praying for rain. Do you get off on pain? We're not pawns in your game. Commander-in-Chief, honestly, if I did the things you do, I couldn't sleep. Seriously, do you even know the truth? We're in a state of crisis. People are dying while you line your pockets deep. Commander-in-Chief, how does it feel to still be able to breathe? Be able to breathe. Won't give up, stand your ground. We'll be on the streets while you're bunkering down. Won't give up, stand our ground. We'll be in the streets while you're Commander-in-Chief. Honestly, if I did the things you do, I couldn't sleep. Seriously, do you even know the truth? We're in a state of crisis. People are dying while you line your pockets deep. Commander-in-Chief, honestly, if I did the things you do, I couldn't sleep. Seriously, do you even know the truth? We're in a state of crisis. People are dying while you lie.
There has been a gathering inquest into what circumstances led to last Tuesday night's dastardly attack on young NSAS protesters at Lekki toll gates here in Lagos. In the aftermath of the attack, various new media reported that a number of the protesters were killed in the shooting incident, but the authorities have since denied such reports. There has been widespread global condemnation of the attack. Well, as we seek answers, we are now being joined from State House Marina here in Lagos by Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos State. Very quickly, why did you call curfew for 4 p.m. and then later shifted to 9 p.m. and then the soldiers reportedly attacked the protesters at 7 p.m.? Did you consult with the army before the curfew was declared? And did you call in the army to assist?
So by Tuesday morning, right, we have started seeing destruction, attack specifically at the police station in Orile, where we saw footage, we saw pictures of police officers being killed, being maimed in broad daylight. We saw armory of the police station being infected and we saw arms being cut away from the police station. Thereafter, we saw also another police station at Terrorist Nigerian Army also being attacked. All about the same time. Almost immediately, we also saw a local government headquarters in Nigerian Army, a 4-story building set ablaze. So, I mean, so that was the event that led to the announcement of the curfew. And at about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, when we're reviewing that, how are people, I mean, trying to get back home? What is the traffic situation? Right, and so I set out notices around 5:30 that maybe the curfew should not start until 9 o'clock. So that was how we started rolling out the communication. And the event that happened at about 7:30, it was just a total shock to me and to everyone around me. I do not know how, you know, we got into that kind of a situation. And it was just something that it was completely unbelievable, you know, when the first call, it was actually one of my cabinet members that was with me. It was a wife that called us and said they were hearing shooting. I said, shooting where? What? He said, no, around Lekki. I said, it's not possible. And we make phone calls around. Nobody said they had sent anybody down. So I don't know how, you know, they all got it all wrong or something. But it was just something that I couldn't even explain. Who gave orders, who gave instructions for military to be there? It's still something that we are investigating, and we've escalated this to the highest level in the military formation.
But why is the army denying allegations that they were involved in the shootings on the Lekki Bridge in spite of overwhelming evidence?
Army do not report to me. I do not have any direct reporter line with the military. I have escalated this to the Chief of Army Staff, and I'm also setting up a judicial panel of inquiry to investigate this. And even they doing their own investigation, we have to do our own investigation and be able to get to the root cause, or find out, you know, who ordered this, where did they come from, who gave the instructions, so that we can indeed, you know, put some closure to this.
Right, Mr. Governor, let's talk about deaths. People really die. How do we determine deaths and all that happened in Lekki?
Okay, so there were several footages and there were several information as into the number of people that have died and all of it. You saw my social handle and you saw the reportage that later that night at about 1:30, I went round all the hospitals that the victims, the casualties, very unfortunately, you know, were taken to 3, 4 hospitals over the night. And yesterday morning, I made a broadcast where I did mention that as at the time I was making that broadcast, we do not have any confirmed death from that incident at Lekki. I brought out a tweet where we said there was a dead body that was brought into an hospital in Lekki early part of yesterday, and from the preliminary investigation, it was not due to any gunshot, right? This was an injury that medical personnel said it was somebody hit the body, the individual by the head, and so they needed to do a further autopsy, to determine what is the actual cause of death. And from the preliminary investigation, it was not due to any gunshot, right? This was an injury that medical personnel said it was somebody hit the body, the individual by the head, and so they needed to do a further autopsy, to determine what is the actual cause of death, right? We also picked up a narrative that we have a dead body that was deposited at the IDH at Ikeja, sorry, IDH Yaba, that's Infectious Disease Hospital in Yaba, and we found out that there's a gunshot wound on that body. So this was picked up by police in around Victoria Island, and once the body was dropped at the morgue, we went around all the morgues, and this was where we picked another one. So it might also be that this gunshot wound that was reported yesterday might also have been due to the incident of Lekki. We do not know. Apart from these two incidents that I've just explained now, I do not have any other confirmed, evidence of death from that incident.
Well, Mr. Governor, incidentally, Amnesty International and some other international agencies are reporting that at least 12 persons were killed at that Lekki tollgate incident.
Fellow Lagosians, whilst we pray for the swift recovery of the injured, we are comforted that we have not recorded any fatality as against the widespread circulation on social media.
I'd like you to tell me who ordered the removal of the CCTV at the toll gate, who ordered the turning on of the lights at the toll gate the night the incident happened.
Nobody ordered. There were security of LCC on the ground, because I had called the managing director of LCC that night when I saw the picture. And what he said to me that because of the curfew that has been announced, they took a decision and to say they will take out installations that are critical to them. That camera that you saw, it's not a security camera. That camera that you saw, it's not a motion camera. Security cameras for the Lagos Plaza are still available. These are some of the footage that we're going to use for our own investigation. Security cameras are installed on top of towers, and they are there because I have seen them, and they are live, they are still recorded. Nobody can touch the security camera. That's why they're called security. The second question around the lights. I understand there is also a concessionaire that manages the LED board on top. I saw a letter, like any other button said. The company said that they pull off the lights because of the curfew that the state government had put in place. Those were their own reported, those were their own point. I've never spoken to the owner of that business, not in the last 1 week. I've never spoken. So there's no communication that will reflect that we influence of. That was a decision that a corporate organization took, right, and said that because of the curfew, they are taking out, their LED screen from the toll plaza, and that was what they reported, and that I believe was the reason, for them turning off the LED screen.
When the investigation starts as regards the Lekki incident, how can you confirm to me that the integrity of those cameras have not been tampered with or anything?
Well, so sitting down here, I can say to you that I'm sure they're in safekeeping. Like I said, LCC does not have a direct reporter to me. So maybe what we should now do is to be sure that those cameras are kept under lock and key and that nobody have access, to them.
Have you had any phone call from the President of Nigeria, or you have been in touch with President Buhari to brief him about the situation in Lagos yesterday so that he can be aware? And if so, what is he saying to you?
I made phone calls to the President. I made calls to want to speak to the President twice yesterday. First time, he hadn't come to the office, and the second time, he was at a fake meeting. So I haven't spoken to him directly, but I actually did call to want to speak with him. But like I said, it was at a fake meeting, and probably had his briefing. I don't have the report to say this was what he said or anything, because we haven't spoken.
So when you speak about NSAS, let's be clear, it's a situation where people who have been told, young people told that they are citizens of the world, came to the realization of the fact that they really can't be citizens of the world if they cannot be citizens in their own country. Because functionally, the Nigerian is essentially a serf serving the ruling class. It is only in Nigeria that you find the madness of a man that is paid and maintained with public funds, having the temerity and the inhumanity to turn his gun on what is supposed to be a citizen. If we even play out a worst-case scenario and we accept that we are not citizens, surely our humanities must not be denied. Each and every one of the Holy Scriptures set out clear rituals when you seek to slaughter an animal for food. You recite certain verses in the Quran before you could slaughter even a chicken. The same thing is found in the Bible. But it is only in Nigeria, a man paid and maintained with my taxes can actually turn his gun with impunity and kill. And when this has happened, what do you find? Concerted efforts at concealing and stifling the truth. The last time I saw what I believe just happened in Lekki was on Ikorodu Road, November 1993. Soldiers killing with impunity and taking away the bodies. This time around, they have set up a panel in Lagos State. Let me repeat myself again now, and you can take this to the bank. The Lagos State government does not dare to allow the panel that is currently sitting in Lekki to sit. Neither does the Nigerian government or the Nigerian army. They might pretend that they are interested in finding the truth, but I guarantee you, and I triple dare them to allow that panel to sit. There are ongoing shenanigans to ensure that that panel is truncated. Them finding all of a sudden that people who are funding peaceful protests are terrorists. It is designed to ensure that the youth representative on that panel walks away. It is an act of provocation. Nobody sits down to negotiate with a man who has a gun on the table. As much as I would have begged and urged that those young people remain on the panel, if only to show the lies of this government to the entire wide world, I really have no control over what they do. But I am saying here and now that the Lagos State government, Sanwo-Olu, the LCC, the Nigerian Army, and everybody connected thereto have no interest in uncovering the truth of what happened in Lekki. The concerted efforts are the lies, the many Aristotelian dimension to the madness that they are calling investigation. I sit here and I say it on my honor. I challenge them, I dare them to allow that panel to work. Let people stop fooling themselves. We are dealing with a criminally reprobate bunch of rulers. And I repeat it again. There are clear evidences I have seen with my own eyes. And I have spoken with survivors, eyewitnesses. So let people stop fooling themselves. What happened in that place? It is criminal. And the Lagos State government is criminally responsible and should actually not even begin to pretend. The sooner it comes out, acknowledges his part in what has happened, take responsibility for what has happened, the quicker we can all heal. But to turn around and seek to demonize people who have merely demanded rights, come on. Come on.
Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Ẹ mọ̀ ṣe tó jọ wá lójú o. Ẹ ṣe tó jọ wá lójú gidi o. Ebi ń pa àwọn ọmọ. Ebi ń pa àwọn ìyá. Wọn ò rí bí sùn. Ẹ wo bí tọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ń sùn nínú Èkó yẹn. Tí ò sí jíjẹ, tí ò sí mímu. Àwọn aráàlú Èbó là ń dáwó fún wọn. Títí tó wọ́n fi ń lọ bí 30 million, 20 million, 18 million. Tá ń dá fáwọn èèyàn, tá ń tún kọ́lé fáwọn èèyàn. Ẹ̀yin ìjọba wá kó oúnjẹ tí táwọn ọmọ ó jẹ. Ẹ wá kó pamọ́. Ọlọ́run mọ̀ bí yín o. Babajide Sanwo-Olu ṣe bí wọ́n lo ní ká sọ sọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Ìwọ náà ló sọ. Ó ní ká sọ sọ̀rọ̀ yìí, ọ̀rọ̀ ọjà kọ́ leléyìí. Ìwọ gan fojú wo tí ìwọ táràlú ń kó nínú warehouse. Ẹ wo nǹkan táràlú ń kó ló ń jẹ. Ẹlòmíì tí kò ń jẹ oṣù 4. Ẹ dákun èyí tẹ́ ń kó ń jẹ. Ẹni tí ò bá ráyè lọ, tó járọ, tó jáfọ́jú, ẹ fún wọn jẹ nínú ẹ̀. Ẹ fún wọn jẹ nínú ẹ̀. Ẹ dákun ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ bá lágbára tẹ́ ẹ rí oúnjẹ kó. Ẹ dákun ẹni tí ò lágbára àti jáde, ẹ dákun ẹ fún wọn jẹ nínú ẹ̀. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ torí Ọlọ́run, èmi ìyá Kàsẹ́ẹ̀tì ni mo ń sọ̀rọ̀. Ara abiyamọ ń ta mí. Sanwo-Olu, àwọn ọmọ yín dẹ̀ ń kàwé nílùú Èbó. Àwọn ọmọ tí wá kàwé tán pẹ̀lú owó olè fífọ̀. Ẹni ń gbókù. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, ẹ ṣe tó jọ wá lójú o. Ọ̀dájú ìjọba la wà nínú ẹ o. Ẹ dájú wa gan o. Ẹ̀yin politician, ẹ̀yin governors, ẹ mọ̀ dájú wa o. Ẹ wo bí tẹ́ ẹ kó ń jẹ sí. Tó jẹ́ pé odidi ẹ wo Ọ̀ṣun state wọ́n ń kó lọ́wọ́ ẹni ru mẹ́fà. Ẹ dákun ẹni tí ò bá rí àyè rù. Ẹni tí ò rọ́nà lọ, tí ò lọ́wọ́, tí ò lẹ́sẹ̀. Ẹ dákun ẹ ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́, ẹ bá wọn kó, ẹ fáwọn náà jẹ. Ẹ jẹ́ káwọn ọmọ kó oúnjẹ tán o. Bá ti ẹ̀rọ wọn lọ́kàn. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kó oúnjẹ tán torébi. Ebi ń bẹnu wọn, ebi ló pa wọ́n. Ebi ló sún wọn débi pé wọ́n ń protesti. Èmi ìyá Kàsẹ́ẹ̀tì ni mo ń sọ̀rọ̀. Ebi ló ń pa àwọn ọmọ. Àwọn ọmọ yín kò sí ni láàárọ̀ kùtùkùtù wọ́n jẹ búrẹ́dì àtẹyin. Òmí ẹ̀ sẹ́ndì owó lọ sí London, wọ́n máa bá wọn ra pizza. Pizza ní London ń làwọn ọmọ yín jẹ. Ẹ wá tún gbé oúnjẹ tiwa yìí náà, ẹ tún wá kó sínú ilé ìjọba sì ló kówó ilé yín lọ́wọ́. Ṣé ń gbàtẹ́ bá wá fẹ́ ṣe ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì, ẹ wá máa pín fún wọn lọ́kọ̀ọ̀kan pẹ̀lú 2,000. Babajide Sanwo-Olu 10 billion tó fún ẹni fún ti COVID-19. Ń bo lówó náà parẹ́ sí ńlá fẹ́ mọ̀, ń bo lówó náà wà. Àti róúnjẹ o, àárí owó o. Ìkà nìyí o. Ìkà gidi nìyí. Wàláhì ìkà nìyí. Abiyamọ tí ó bá sọ̀rọ̀ kó sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ebi. Ẹ dákun. A fẹ́ gbalẹ̀ Yorùbá ni o. Kí ni nǹkan tá a fẹ́ fi gbà tẹ́bí bá wà nù àlè rílẹ̀ Yorùbá mú dání? Àwọn ọmọ ò ní ba nǹkan jẹ́ mọ́. Ìbínú ló ta wọ́n. Ẹ sì ti pàyí tẹ́ nípa o. Ẹ wá tún gbé àwọn ọ̀tẹ̀, ẹ tún fi sọ́dọ̀, ẹ tún mú mọ́ra. Àwọn àká tún wá ráyè wọ̀nyí lára. Wọ́n wá ń forúkọ yín jà. Ẹ̀yin ìjọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ẹ̀yin ìjọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kórí wa ó ṣì. Àwa Yorùbá ẹ jẹ́ kórí wa ó ṣì. Ẹ má gbọ̀tá láàyè. ẹ má gba ọ̀tá láàyè àwọn ará wa ni ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ̀rọ̀ síra wa ẹ má jẹ́ kán bá wa lọ́wọ́ sí àwọn èṣù ti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa Sanwo-Olu ǹjẹ́ àwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ kàwé láfíríkà mo béèrè ni o ọmọ sẹ́nẹ́tọ̀ ìlú èbó ló ti kàwé àwọn ọmọ wa orílẹ̀-èwe lọ ẹ sanwó fáwọn tíṣà kí wọ́n lè fẹ́ káwọn ọmọ yìí ó ṣe adẹ̀wà á mú owó náà àwọn ọmọ wọn tún ṣiṣẹ́ fún yín owó oṣù táwa bá ń gbà ń bíbà ìlà fi sanwó fún wọn nílé àwa kọ́nà ṣiṣẹ́ fún Sanwo-Olu Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún wọ́n tún ṣe tán gbogbo abúlé ibi táwọn ìyá àgbàlagbà wà gbóúnjẹ lọ ẹ wá tì mọ́lé ẹ dákun tàbẹ́kùtà ẹ ṣí ilé o T4 ẹ ṣí ilé o warehouse tó bá wà Ṣàngó ẹ ṣí ilé o ẹ jẹ́ kí tàwọn Ifọ̀ náà orí jẹ o ẹ jẹ́ kí tàwọn Ṣàngó torí orí jẹ o torí àwọn ìyá wà lábúlé o tí ò sọ ń jẹ o ẹ dákun torí Ọlọ́run tọ̀ṣun state ti sí tiẹ̀ o tẹ̀kọ́ ti sí tiẹ̀ o gbogbo ibikíbi tẹ́ ẹ bá wà ṣé ń tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ fojú wa rí náà rè ẹ kàn lẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe ìjọba yìí bó ṣe wù yín ni ara yín lẹ ṣe ara yín lẹ ṣe bàbá yóò parí ọdún mẹ́ta rẹ̀ yòókù wọ́n ti kọ́ mọ́rin yóò parí ọdún mẹ́ta rẹ̀ àwa yóò bá ara wa àwa ṣìkà fúnra wa tó tó yìí àmọ́ rí bí wọ́n ti sí warehouse oúnjẹ nílẹ̀ Haúsá ó mà ṣe o títí wọn náà bá wà nípa mọ́kànyá sílẹ̀ o ẹ mọ̀ wùwà ìka ó ẹ wọ́n fi sọ Buhari lẹ́nu pé kò sóúnjẹ kò sígbà nígbà COVID-19 wọ́n kó wú ẹ̀ lẹ̀ fún yín kí ló dé tẹ́ ẹ̀ fi bá wa gbé ta ẹ ṣìkà fún wa o ẹ wá láwọn ọmọ ń jà wọ́n ń yọ̀bẹ wọ́n ń yàdá wọ́n wá tún lọ jẹ́ káwọn olè ó pẹ̀lú wọ́n jẹ́ káwọn aráàta tí wọ́n lọ rẹ́ǹtì ẹ wá tún lé wọ́n tún lọ rẹ́ǹtì àwọn aráàta wọ́n pera wọn láàmì wọ́n pera wọn lọ́lọ́pàá ẹ wọ́n tún pa wá láwọn ọmọ nípakúpa àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká ronú o àwọn ọba wọn ò ní àyà láti lè jáde kéré síta inú ọ́fíìsì làwọn ọba tún ti ń ké wípé kéré o àwọn ẹni tí ò wá ní fóònù lọ́wọ́ ń kọ́ ìta gbangba ló ti yẹ kẹ́ ẹ kígbe kéré ńgbò jẹ́ pé ibi tó káwọn ọba mọ́ ni wọ́n ti ń ṣe nǹkan wọn yẹn ibi tó káwọn mọ́ ni ẹ má tún jẹ́ abúléèmù àwọn ọba ibi tó káwọn mọ́ ni ìta gbangba ni ẹ ti ṣe kéré kì í ṣe nú ọ́fíìsì ẹ dákun ẹlòmíì ò ní fóònù lọ́wọ́ Sanwo-Olu ẹ ṣìkà fún wa ẹ wo oúnjẹ tí wọ́n ń kó síta ṣerú oúnjẹ báyìí wà ẹ wo Ọ̀ṣun state ẹ wá ní wọ́n lé yín kiri òdodo ò ní àmọ́ sọ̀hún Sanwo-Olu ìwọ náà ló ní á sọ̀rọ̀ síta o kí ló dé ṣé ń gbé bá wá fẹ́ ṣe election lẹ́wàá mọ́ gbé kátọ́n kọ̀ọ̀kan lé a lọ́wọ́ ṣé ń tẹ́ ẹ dá dúró dè nìyẹn títí tí ó fi wá expire mọ́ wa nú àmọ́ wá kígbe typhoid kò tún sí hospital tó bá mú wa tán kò sí hospital kò sóògùn àwọn ọmọ yín ò gba treatment ní Nàìjíríà ẹ̀yin náà sì gba treatment ní Nàìjíríà ẹ má jẹ́ abá bàbá Buhari sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ má jẹ́ abá wí àwọn gómìnà wa ni ẹ jẹ́ abá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ dákun ẹ fi yèdénú ẹ ṣàánú wa kọ́pìnì ni ẹ dálẹ̀ ẹ má kówó yín lọ ìlú èbó ẹ má fi ra aeroplane kò sẹ́ni tí ń wo aeroplane ẹ fi dá kọ́pìnì lẹ̀ ẹ ti dí náà ẹ fowó ìdá kọ́pìnì lẹ̀ gbogbo ẹni tí ó bá tún gorí oyè míì kò sẹ́ni tí ó bá yín pariwo òfò mọ́ o kò sí o láyé kò sẹ́ni tí ó bá yín pariwo mọ́ láyé ń tẹ́ rí ẹ ṣe ọmọ kékeré bá gbà àgbà bá gbà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá wa yìí o ọ̀dájú nìyẹn o Sanwo-Olu ìwọ̀sì ló ní ká sọ̀rọ̀ síta àáfàá náà tún ṣe tó ní ká mọ̀ tún protest Ìwọ àfáà tó ní a mọ́ protest. Ìyàwó àfáà mà ní ń kó oúnjẹ níta yìí. Sóúnjẹ àràámú ní ń kó ni àbí àlàálí. Ebi mọ̀ ń pa ìyàwó àfáà. Àfáà ọmọ ti jáde lọ ti lọ kó oúnjẹ ní warehouse. Sáràámú ní ṣebí pa wọ́n ní Saudi. Ebi ò pa wọ́n ní Saudi, ìtàn ní gbogbo èyí tẹ́ ń sọ fún wa yẹn o. Ànábì ni a mọ́ ṣe ráyọ́tì, ànábì ò fẹ́ bí pa wọ́n ọmọ rẹ̀. Ànábì ò fẹ́ bí pa wọ́n sàábé. Ẹ má ṣe wáàsí òfò. Wáàsí burúkú lẹ̀ ń ṣe. Ẹni a mọ́ protest ká mọ́ sunkún jáde. Ìyàwó àfáà ní ń kó oúnjẹ yẹn. Agbọ́ àwa tó jẹ́ pa wà nídàálẹ̀. Ń taari là ń jẹ. Àtàlálí àti àràámú. Adúrú bìsímìláì tó kẹ́nu mi. Gbogbo tí ń bára nílẹ̀ yìí bìsímìláì ni. Oúnjẹ wá wà nílẹ̀. Ẹ wá ní ká mọ́ protest ẹ̀yin àfáà. Ẹ̀yin àfáà ká mọ́ protest against wọn torí ibi tẹ́yin náà ti ń pawó. Kán gbé skúù kalẹ̀. Lọ sí àwọn ọmọ wọn ò lọ sí skúù olówó mọ́. Lọ skúù olówó ẹ̀yin àfáà. Ọ̀fẹ́ lẹ kàwé yín. Ọ̀fẹ́ sì ni wọ́n fún yín níwèé lọ sí Saudi tẹ́ lọ kà. Ẹ fi wá lọ́rùn lẹ̀. Àfáà pásítọ̀. Ìsọkúsọ lẹ ń sọ fún wa. Ẹ bá wọn gómìnà sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ bá wọn sọ. Ẹ ṣe tẹ́ ẹ ní ká mọ́ protest. Ká mọ́ protest ebi tí ń pa ẹlẹ́hà tó ń kó oúnjẹ yìí ń kọ́ o. Àfáà ọmọ rẹ̀.
So this is the mistake we must not make in this generation. You know, whatever energy we have created right now, we must capture for ourselves. You know, and that is the task that is at hand. You know, I'm not one that believes in the idea of youth governance. You know, I've never seen a nation that was built by the youth. I think this whole youth must rule Nigeria is a cop-out from those that are, how would I put it, the elders of society, the professionals of society, you know, because youth don't really have much. Youth don't have jobs, they don't have money, you know, but you want them to build the nation. How? You know, it is those that have the means that should do the job, but they don't want to do the job, and instead of saying the truth that, oh, we don't want to do the job, they are deflecting it. You know, the youths are the reflection of society. You know, youth are a reflection of your society, not the solution of your society. So if you want to know how your society is, you want to know how your society is working, you look at the state of your youth. They give you the exact situation report of your society. You know, youth is not really the solution to the issue. What we need are people with dignity, self-respect, integrity, and a heart that beats for their own people. You know, not this group of people that don't care about anything that is. In fact, I feel that they are setting Nigeria up for destruction. That's why all of them are so invested abroad. The amount of assets Nigerian rich people have abroad is alarming. You know, all their children's school there, they have houses there, they go on holiday, they are set abroad. They're just waiting for them to scatter Nigeria so they can enter their private jets and run there, run home. That is home. They want to run home. You know, that's where they spend all their time. We see all their pictures. That's where they are smiling the most, you know, and things like that. You know, and that is, in those countries, is where they have friends that are in the middle class. In Nigeria, all their friends are rich like them, or yes, they are not friends at all. You know, Nigeria is only a business to these people. It's not home. You know, so we that call Nigeria home must begin to build, or rather, reconstruct our home. The Nigerian political class remains anti-dialogical. They don't want a dialogue with the people of this country. They are too big. They have dehumanized us for so long that they no longer respect the Nigerian people. We are not worthy of a dialogue with them. That is the reason why you say a meeting, just because of the title of a meeting, is provocative, right? But police killing Nigerian people for over 6 decades and Nigerian people rising up finally for only 3 days, that wasn't provocative. You know, what happened in the toll gate, not provocative. The hunger in the land is not provocative. The fact that people that have private jets are hoarding Indomie noodles is not provocative. You understand? It is still the looter's fault for going there to take what is. So we understand these people's mindset. There are some of us that do not want a perfection of oppression. Because that's what happens here. As long as people are benefiting from the oppression of this country, they find ways to justify whatever atrocity that is committed by the people in power, as long as they are connected to that power. So we understand all of that. A movement that is going to definitely, end this atrocious behavior of a particular set of Nigerians who have decided that things are more important than people, who exist, and they've been existing since 500 years. We've had them in our society, but the traditional African society did not validate their behavior, so they were weak. Then the white men came. Ooh! As soon as the white men came, they found external validation to that behavior. They are the same people that sold their brothers and sisters for things like mirror, gin, gunpowder. These people are mesmerized by things. Fast forward 500 years down the line, and what are they still doing? They are selling us for things. These people are billionaires that cannot build anything. Can you believe that? Billionaires that can only buy things. They can't build a nation. They are weak. So the strong needs to take power from the weak so that the nation can move forward. Being aggressive and brutalizing innocent people is not a sign of strength. It further entrenches the notion that this government is weak in the real sense of the word.